Has this ever happened to you? If so, I've got a wonderful solution for you. I'm going to share with you all the recipe for the burritos that took me from 145 to 180 pounds. And before we begin, I would like to acknowledge the very fortunate situation I'm in where I have to gain weight instead of lose it. So, if you're after a meal that's going to help you to lose weight, this is not the video for you. And with that out of the way, let me first convince you real quick why these are the best burritos for us broke college students. Hey band! What? Put on something fast. 1, 2, 3, 4. This right here is the price of each individual burrito. These prices came from the Walmart app where I used the price times the amount needed per one burrito divided by the numbers of items in the pack. Using that formula, we come to a price of $2.62 per burrito. Not as good as some fast food places, but when you factor in not having to pay for gas, car maintenance, or DoorDash, as well as the convenience of being able to just walk into your kitchen and make one, it balances out a little bit. I can already imagine some of you are scared because you don't know how to cook. But don't fret, I've spent the past year or so perfecting this recipe and the past semester thinking of how to make a tutorial that is as comprehensive as possible. And before we begin, I would like everybody to remember the famous words of 5-star chef Auguste Gusteau. Anyone can cook. So, without further ado, let's slow the music down a little bit so I can show you how to make the best burritos this side of the Badlands. Stop the music, stop the music. I can take it from here. Before we even begin cooking, first you must make sure that your kitchen is clean. Do your future self a favor and make sure that you have a clean workspace before you begin. Of course, the first ingredient to any good meal is bacon. The only problem with bacon is that it's a pain to prepare and clean up. But thankfully, I have a solution. That solution is pictured here. If you're making bacon only a few pieces at a time, it's often not worth the time spent afterwards cleaning it up. But if you do it all at once, you only have to clean up once. The way I make bacon is to first spray the two pans with cooking oil and then place the bacon like so, cook for 12 to 15 minutes at 350 degrees. After your bacon is done, put it on some paper towels using some tongs, and then dispose of the grease on the pans either into the trash or into a storage container. After your bacon is cooled down, you can wrap it up in the towels, put it into a Ziploc bag, and store it in the fridge. With this timing, it may look a little bit raw when you take it out of the oven, but that's okay because you're cooking it halfway now and you're going to cook it the other half when you make the burritos. With the bacon done, we can now get on to the rest of the cooking. The full list of ingredients is hash browns, bacon, big tortillas, eggs, olive oil, and whatever seasonings your heart desires. Next, we're going to begin preparing the hash browns. I take 2 hash brown patties, putting them in the microwave for 2.5 minutes. As those are thawing, put your oven on medium heat and begin spraying and prepping your pan. It's important that you start heating up the pan right as you start the hash browns, that way you don't have to keep track of 2 separate times. After spraying and seasoning your pan, keep yourself busy by any means necessary until the microwave timer is done. After the 2.5 minutes in the microwave, my pan came to a surface temperature of 190 degrees, at which point you can start the hash browns. A rubber spatula is my tool of choice for this recipe. Use it to mash up the hash browns for a more even fry. Next, crack the eggs into their own section of the pan, being as careful as possible not to break the yolks. Then, grab the bacon we prepared earlier and start ripping it up into little chunks like so. Keeping the ingredients separate like this ensures nothing gets over or undercooked. After everything is in the pan, it's time to start preparing your tortilla. Get your tortillas and a wet paper towel. But if the towel is too small to cover the entire tortilla, fold it in half and place the towel like so. I've heard from a few sources that microwaving a tortilla can ruin it, so prepare the tortillas as you see fit. At the time where the top of the eggs are cooked all the way through and white, often in the range of 2 to 4 minutes from my personal experience, put your tortilla in the microwave for 30 seconds and begin mixing the ingredients in the pan. Another benefit to doing it this way is that the egg yolks remain a little bit runny, but if you don't like them that way, begin mixing the pan a minute or so earlier. After the tortilla is done, lay it flat on a cutting board and bring over your pan. Place the ingredients in the middle and begin by folding the corners in like this and then rolling it from the side closest to you. This is the most difficult part, at least for me, and the only way I got better was with lots of practice, which came quite often considering how frequently I eat these. The steps from here forward are completely optional, but I like to set it back into the pan on the flap of the tortilla to seal it under a heavy-ish object. First I start on this side for 2 minutes, and then flip it over to do 1 minute on the other. At last, take your burrito to the cutting board and turn off the heat on the stove. Then, take a serrated knife and cut your burrito in half with a bias. This makes it easier to dip in the sauce of your choice. And with that, you have your completed burrito. I gave this one to the cameraman as payment for helping me record, and he rated it a thumbs up. I then took a lap around the house to give my cats a smell test, and they seemed rather indifferent.
You serious, my brother?
I hope you all try to make this recipe at least once, and even if you don't, I hope that you enjoyed this video nonetheless. If you have any questions about any parts of this process, please feel free to leave a comment down below. Special thanks to my friend Dylan for helping me record, my cats Jackson, Ernie, and Kirby for the smell check, and to my father for cleaning up the kitchen beforehand. Thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.